Hi, everybody. It's Ryan here at Pi Records. I'm here with Deven from the Tourmaliners. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Ryan. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no problem. How is things in San Diego?
Well, it's pretty nice. We're here in early October. It's still kind of like summer. The water is about 68 degrees out in the surf, and we still got sunshine, so we're feeling pretty good.
Cool. Am I saying that name right? The Tourmaliners?
Yeah, Tourmaliners. Yeah, we named the band after a beach down here called Tourmaline Surf Park,
Oh, okay.
and that's where we get our name.
So tell me a little bit about your music. It's a little bit, a lot of it surf, but I also hear some exotic stuff in there too. You want to tell me a little bit about your influences?
Yeah, I grew up listening and playing the classic surf music, Safaris, Dick Dale, Ventures kind of stuff, Shantays, um, and so that influence is definitely in my playing. I mean, I remember seeing Dick Dale, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. Hearing that guitar tone with the reverb and the Fender Stratocasters sparkle gold color,
Yeah.
and it was so loud and powerful and just filled the whole room. I saw that as a kid, and I was like, wow, that had a big impact on me. And I said, well, I want to do that. So that 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 style, Dick's double pick kind of style. But I also like the musicality of like the Ventures, where they were more of a drier guitar tone, but they were very musical, very melodic, and rhythmically they did a lot of different kind of rhythms. Wasn't always kind of the same old surf beat thing. They would add they do a song like Apache or Hawaii 5-0 or something, and they would serve it up a little bit different. But then they'd come in, obviously Walk Don't Run and Perfidia, Lullaby of the
Oh, yeah.
Leaves, had a kind of that almost kind of Hawaii Ghana kind of
Yeah.
sound in the guitar, almost like a slap key a little bit. So all those things, but growing up, I listened to all the bands when I was in high school. My favorite groups was like U2. I like the Clash and the Ramones and Sex Pistols and the B-52s. That whole scene kind of came in when I was in high school. So, my influences grew from there. Some of the songs on the album, we've got ukulele. I spent some time in Hawaii, and I got to meet people like Jack Johnson and others, and just kind of hang out and pick up some of that Hawaiian style in there. So you'll hear that in our music, and maybe some acoustic guitar, kind of laid back Southern California. There's even a little reggae, kind of that Sublime 311 kind of sounds in there. So really, I've just tried to just my culture that I'm around. Down here in San Diego, we've got a lot of Spanish, music from Mexico. We're right on the border, so we've got a lot of influences from south of the border. So you'll hear some of that kind of Mexican Spanish guitar, flamenco style in some of our stuff. So it's really just kind of amalgamation of multiple styles, but really the instrumental surf guitar, reverb guitar is right down the center, pretty much everything we do.
So you're the guitar player.
Yeah, I play lead for most of it. Then Joe Dameron, the other guitarist in the band, he's a fantastic guitarist. He plays in another band called the Bird Rockers, and we've been friends, and we've just jammed together on the side, doing some projects for about the last 10 years, and we finally decided 2 years ago to kind of come together for this project in the Tourmaliners.
So I listened to two albums by you. There was your full length, and then a special one that's just coming out. You want to tell us about that one a little bit?
This guy?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, we're coming out. Well, the first album we came out was, I don't have a copy of it in front of me here, but Tourmaline Dream. That was really songs that I'd written over a number of years that hadn't really seen the light of day, and I started burning copies of it on CD or little MP3 files and sending them out to my friends just for fun. And I had one good friend of mine, a guy named Pat, that I go surfing with. He was like, "Dude, you got to put this stuff out. You got to do a band. You got to make this happen." And he kept telling me over and over. And eventually, a bunch of friends were like, "Dude, you finally need to do this project. So about 2 years ago, I got the opportunity to, there's a local lounge club, kind of a legendary, it was really big in the swing dance era in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
And that club still exists. A friend of mine named Frank Shudo owns it. It's called Tio Leo's Lounge. And they have rockabilly, blues, swing, big band. And so we reconnected with Frank, and Frank said, yeah, if you want to do something, let me know. I'd love to have a surf band. He doesn't have a lot of surf music, but he said, I'd love to have like a surf night, like Tuesday nights or something. I said, okay. So we put together the band, and then we did that for about 6 months and put out Tourmaline Dream last May. And to our surprise, the local media really picked up on it. A guy named Bart Mendoza, who writes for the San Diego Union Tribune. He writes for San Diego Troubadour, has his own, he's a musician himself, and he would come to our shows, and he just loved what we did. And he would write about it in the local papers and and online, come to our shows. And he just really got behind us. And between that and our relationship with Tio Leo's, another promoter, gal named Rosalia, with Wicked Heron Productions, really got behind us and the album. And they were able to push it through to get us a San Diego Music Award nomination for Best Rock Album of the Year. So it's a semi-award winning album. And then Pipeline Magazine over in the UK gave us Album of the Year, co-album of the year. There's another group, I forget what they're called, but we got an Album of the Year and a full 2-3 page write-up and review. And those guys, Alan Taylor and those guys, really got behind it. So they gave a little wind under the wings. We're doing well online with it. And then this album, I met Josh Graham, and that's our connection here with Altered State of Reverb, our label.
Yeah.
And Josh has been a huge fan of ours. He's been reposting our stuff online on Instagram and Facebook, and he just has been a really cool guy. We talked a few times over the phone for about a year and a half, and I didn't know if he was a label or he was just trying to promote other surf bands or whatever, being like a kind of a marketing guy. And I saw that he picked up the Setopians and was putting out their release. And I was like, looks like he's kind of jumped into being a label. And so we talked, and I said, well, it was right at the beginning of this COVID thing and everything was shutting down. And I said, well, I've been wanting to do this Christmas album. I've got this instrumental kind of inspired by the Ventures Christmas album. I've been wanting to do this for years because I love Christmas albums, and I love the old White Christmas movies and Holiday Inn, Bing Crosby, all that. I love turning that movie on and getting out the tree and getting my kids out and decorating, that whole thing, kind of playing it up. So we started recording that album during the whole COVID thing and was able to finish that up. And I sent it to Josh. He's like, man, I want to put that out. In fact, I want to put that on vinyl. And so I was like, okay, great. So we put together a package, and we're putting it out on white vinyl. It's gonna be actually white with a red label. It's gonna be cool.
Like White Christmas.
What I did was yeah, exactly. In fact, if you look at the art, if you look at the colorized version of White Christmas and you look at the credits at the beginning of the movie, it looks like that kind of.
Oh, nice.
With the holly on the sides. And I used the same font. I got an artist to kind of getting in the glare there, but you can kind of see the same font and the holly on the side. And of course we added our logo. And then an artist friend of mine looked at it. It didn't have the surfer at the bottom. He says, well, dude, there's nothing really ties it into surfing except for the word surfing with the comma, Yeah. And he said, you should put like a guy down here surfing or something. So a friend of mine takes pictures. This guy named RC down at Tourmaline takes pictures of guys surfing. And so he gave me a photo, and the artist put it on there. So we got that. And then, the back here, you can kind of see it's all Christmased out with, of course, the Altered State of Reverb label with Josh Graham. So we're excited.
Excellent.
It's just basically, I took kind of the cue from the Ventures Christmas album, where they'll start the song, and it's like the intro to I Feel Fine by the Beatles, and then they go into Sleigh Ride, and then go back into I Feel Fine. Just the intro and outro riffs, or maybe even like a little vamp in the middle. So you'll hear like one song we did, Oh Come All You Faithful. It opens like the Endless Summer theme, and then goes into, and we took all the songs are old hymns. They're the old hymns. they're all public domain. I don't have to pay publishing.
Oh, really? I
So,
saw a lot of those. And I'm like,
every single song is.
yeah, I was like, how did he get away with that?
Yeah, no, they're all public domain. I don't have to pay any publishing. Even I was surprised. We Wish You a Merry Christmas is on there, and you don't have to pay for it. So I'm like, great. And they're all done instrumentally, and they're great melodies. I mean, if you listen to these melodies, like we did, "Oh Holy Night." I don't know if you remember that. Oh
Yeah.
Holy Night. I heard Brian Setzer Orchestra do that version with vocals and a big choir, and I was like, wow, that's beautiful. And I thought, I'd love to do an instrumental version that kind of took a little bit. Actually, we took Sleepwalk, the intro to Sleepwalk by Santo and Johnny.
Yeah.
And then we go into
wedding
Oh Holy
song.
Night, and then back into. So it's kind of a very tongue-in-cheek a little bit there, but we took that from a cue from the Ventures surfing album.
Yeah.
Album.
That Santo and Johnny song was our wedding song.
It's a beautiful tune. It's such there's so many incredible melodies out there, like that song, like Sleepwalk, and these Christmas songs. I mean, songs like Green Sleeves, da, 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 da. I mean, we just put a little surf behind it, and it's a great surf song, so we had fun.
I really I really enjoy when surf bands or the comps that come out through Continental with the surf Christmas albums. They're more enjoyable to listen to than say a mainstream artist like doing a pop version of the song. Just something. Even the Brian Setzer did that Christmas.
He's done great with Christmas.
Yeah,
really good stuff. I'm a big fan of Brian Setzer. He's one of my influences too. And when I heard him do that first Christmas album, he's doing Jingle Bells, and the lyrics are like, in my 57 Chevrolet.
Yeah.
It's kind of tongue-in-cheek and fun, and who knows, maybe we'll do Surfing Christmas Carols Volume 2 next year. I don't know, we'll see how it goes.
Well, at the very least, we'll get more listenable versions out there in the market, more of a variety as opposed to the standard pop song,
Sure.
So you want to tell me a little bit about the other members of your bands, and then maybe go into your scene and how you all got together?
Yeah, I mentioned Joe Dameron. He is a fine guitarist. I mean, if you go on our Facebook, little shameless plug here, at the Tourmaliners, we posted up a video of us doing an acoustic set at the Tiki Oasis this year. They didn't have any bands because of COVID, and I happen to live 2 blocks from where they hosted the event here in San Diego, and I asked Otto if we can come over and just do an acoustic set, and we filmed it and did a Facebook Live event. And Joe, I'll tell you, he's an amazing guitarist, even on acoustic guitar, doing like Hawaii 5-0 on an acoustic. I mean, that's like unheard of.
Yeah.
It's kind of like playing a surf music on an acoustic guitar is like, batting with a ring on it. It's just it's heavy. He can just nail some of that stuff. So he's a fantastic guitarist. On drums, I've got a guy named John McAwee. He plays regularly in a Neil Diamond tribute act that's pretty large and does well, tours with that. He's been in a bunch of other bands, but he's an awesome surf drummer. He really loves Low Straight Jackets. So he likes the drummer from there. He kind of takes a lot of influence from that. We've got Matt Klaumenzer. He's a fantastic bass player. He's probably the best guitar player in the band, to be honest with you, but he's playing bass because we needed bass. But he's kind of like a Noki Edwards. He's just, he played bass early in the band, but later they made him lead. So maybe we'll do the same. But he's a session guy. He tours. He just got back from Vegas playing with I don't know what it was, Elton John tribute act or something. He does a lot of big stuff. He was in a band called Hot Chicken Stew out of Memphis back in the 90s. He toured well with them. And then we have a gal named Ina Soli. She kind of came with Joe Joe and her, she's a wonderful singer. We're an instrumental band, but when we play places, people are like, "Hey, can you throw in a couple vocals?" So she plays keys and organs, so we'll
Mhm.
do like Green Onions, and she'll
Oh
play
yeah.
the lead, the Booker T and the MG stuff on the organ. Or in our albums, there's like pianos and keys and bells and some whistles in there, and so she'll add a lot of that spice. But she'll also come out and sing a couple. We'll do Eddie Cochran or some Chuck Berry or something. Throw that in. She does a great job, kind of just spicing it up. But that's the band, and we all just met as friends. They're just musicians I knew here in San Diego over the years, and I just called them up and said, "Hey, I got a gig," and they're like, "Okay, let's do it." That simple.
Um, One thing that stuck out to me that you said is you had the idea during the beginning of COVID to do a Christmas album, and I always love to hear the stories about, especially when people get creative, when they have downtime and they can't go anywhere, they use that opportunity to create new music. So you recorded all of the album during the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean the ideas, the arrangements, all that stuff. That'd be something I've been working in my mind for a number of years. So it's not just everything happened during COVID. It was just kind of like we were able to kind of bring it together during COVID.
Yeah,
I have a Pro Tools studio in my house, and so I was able to finalize that. And then I had a guy named Dan Boss, is a good friend of mine. He mixed it or actually he mastered it. I mixed it, but he mastered. So with digital, you're able to send you know tracks to somebody, and they can add something at their house and then send it
yeah.
back to you and fly it in. So a combination of all that. Obviously with social distancing and everybody kind of needing to be working from the home, I just wanted to take advantage of the time. I knew I didn't think the COVID thing would last this long. I don't think any of
Yeah.
us did, but I didn't want to come out of this with nothing. I wanted to say, I want to have something to show for it. So that was my way of just, coming up with arrangements and working with others and Josh to put this out. So it's been in the works for a number of years, actually.
Great. So I'd like to ask how you wound up working with Josh and Altered State of Reverb, and your kind of
Yeah,
relationship with him.
yeah. We just struck up a relationship on Instagram. I think initially, we would be playing a show, and all of a sudden, I'd see this Altered State of Reverb liked your post, or reshared your post. We started sharing our posts. I was like, who is this dude? And I'd never heard
Right.
of him. And I don't know, about a year and a half ago, I called him, or I messaged him through Instagram and said, "Hey, you ever want to talk or do a Zoom meeting?" I think we just talked on the phone, and called him up. And he just has a love for surf music. He loves
Yeah.
musicians. He really he's gone around and met a lot of the folks in the current surf music scene, if you will. Particularly, he's out of Washington D.C., so
Mhm.
um, obviously, if it weren't for an online relationship, I mean, we've never met physically in person.
Right.
I'm hoping he'd come out here after COVID, and I can show him around Southern Cal a little bit, but the scene here. But he's just a great guy who he said he got inspired by watching Pulp Fiction, like a lot of folks. Were
Yeah.
introduced to Dick Dale and the Ventures and that kind of sound off that album, and he's just a super nice guy. We hit it off pretty well over the phone, but I didn't. He at the time he wasn't a label, so he said, I'd like to be, but I'm not one yet." And so we just we comment a little this and that on different posts, and then like I said, he picked up the Satopians and a few other bands, and then I said, maybe we should talk about a Tourmaliners release. He goes, "Oh man, I'd love to do that." I said, "I got this Christmas album in the can. You want to try that?" And we also had a couple singles that we released. We released a cover version just to digital to iTunes and Spotify for. We did a cover of 311's Amber,
Uh-huh.
remember this song from like early 2001. I always loved that song. It's a huge hit here in San Diego, and kind of really kind of almost reggae a little bit in there. So we did a surf version, and we put it out through Altered State of Reverb. And we also did Clocks. We did a version of Clocks by Coldplay, a surf version that's really actually.
I actually heard that one, and I really dug it, more so than the original.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, you got that ambient guitar in there. So that we did Island in the Sun by Weezer. I always love Weezer. I mean, can't not like Weezer. Come on, they're just a fun band, and they're LA. They're a bunch of little surfer dudes too. So anyway, we picked that up. It just kind of felt nice to be, kind of island style in there. That's done really well for us digitally. In fact, on TikTok, Island in the Sun, that thing has gone. If you go on TikTok, you search Tourmaliners and then hit songs. We have like millions of plays on TikTok.
Really?
Seriously. Yeah, there's a video on there. There's over 1,000 videos of us by just individuals who've made their own video of Island in the Sun. And the top videos had like over a million, maybe almost 2 million plays just on one of the videos, with like hundreds of thousands of likes on them. And there's over 1,000 videos, some with over 1 million plays, some with, 800,000, some with 2,000, whatever. But it's gone, I don't know, slightly viral on TikTok. Of course, TikTok doesn't pay nothing. So we're making I think I got $1.98 from TikTok in the last quarter. So we'll see. They don't pay at all, but it's nice to know people like the material. So Josh got behind that, and we just thought, well, let's do this Christmas album. It was his idea to do the white vinyl. So we're excited. That comes out October 23rd. You can go to alteredstateofreverb.com, pick that up. But it's going to drop to digital on the 23rd. Shipping will probably be another week or two on the vinyl. And we've got it, of course, on CD. Nice little, just a simple sleeve, but it ships easy and still got the good music on there.
That I have a feeling that vinyl is going to look sharp.
Me too. I'm excited. We have a couple test pressings. I got one of. They sent us. They send you a black test pressing.
Yeah.
And vinyl is something I grew up buying vinyl as a kid. I got rid of my record player a long time ago, right? So I didn't even own a record player when the test pressing came in. I had to order one on Amazon and plug it into my studio speakers. But it was so cool to put that thing on there and hear the warmth of vinyl. It just sounds so like that old school kind of vintage surf sound, man. It's on there, so we're really stoked about it. So
that's gonna be quite an item, I think. Vinyl is pretty popular now. I think it outsold more than CDs actually the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, I heard a guy say the other day, he goes, cars aren't being made with CD players anymore, you're stuck.
I noticed that.
You're doing Bluetooth, and if you're at home and you really like playing music at home, why not get a little, you can pay $100 and get a basic, turntable, Audio Technica or something. I think that's what I got. And you put that on, and you're back. My daughters get into it. My youngest daughter has a record player, and she's got all my old, X album. I used to like X, the band from LA, she's playing Los Angeles back there, and she's playing my Sex Pistols albums, my Clash albums. And
that's cool.
You hear it in the back bedroom, and I'm like, man, I miss that stuff on vinyl,
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. Is there, I'm going to wrap it up, but is there anything else you'd like to mention that I may or not have touched on?
Just we're excited to make surf music again. Seems like there's a pretty cool scene out there. We're starting to play again as a band. So if you're in San Diego or in the Southern California area, look us up. We play, you can follow us, theTourmaliners.com. We're on Instagram at the Tourmaliners or Facebook at the Tourmaliners. There's a new event that Jeff Hansen and Chris Burkhart. You know, Jeff Hansen does the Surf Guitar 101 Festival.
Oh yeah.
He's teamed up with another promoter, a guy named Chris Burkhart, who does stellar shows. They're doing a big thing called the Tiki Lowbrow, and it just got rescheduled for May 29th, that weekend, up in Long Beach. So we're going to be playing that. They've invited us to come up, and we're hoping to play some more of the Tiki Oasis stuff as well. But if you can, come check out the band live, and you can download our stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, iTunes, anywhere. Oh, Pandora. We do a lot of play on Pandora. So, yeah, you know, and if you want to email us, you got any comments or suggestions or just want to say hi, you know, go to our website. You can also email us at the Tourmaliners@gmail.com. So,
Great.
yeah.
Well, Deven, I really appreciate your time. I always feel lucky when musicians lend me a little bit of their time just to talk about music, because it fascinates me, and I really I love to hear the stories about how they make music, what makes them want to make music, and you know, you guys are so cool, and and you've been very kind to me, and I really appreciate that.
Oh man, it's our pleasure, and maybe someday we'll be out in the Philly area. So watch out, Philadelphia, we're coming.
Awesome. You have a good day, Deven.
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan. Appreciate it.